Well, I've done mine now. I'm not doing it again.
You have. So, everyone, I guess, welcome to episode 1 of They Walk Among Us, cunningly titled The First Steps, bi-weekly D&D stuff. You're not going to get the player introduction every week, but let's start with Andrew.
I'm Andrew. I'm playing Rock, who is a barbarian.
Cool. Elise, alas, cannot be with us for the foreseeable future. She's has some family stuff to take care of. So next on the list is Liam.
My name's Liam, and I am playing Mara, who is a avatar of Elven heritage, who is also a warlock.
Cool. Matthew, I had to make the text boxes on this cast list big for you, so I hope you appreciate that.
Thank you. I'm Matt. I'm playing as Cavius. I'm a avatar of Tiefling heritage, and I'm a bard.
And William.
My name is William. I am playing for Jaga, and a bearer gunsmith. So you shall see me wielding guns hither and thither.
And clearly, my name's Ryan. Ryan, it says down here. If you want more information on the show, hopefully, Nightbot will every so often be like, here, click this link for more information. But obviously, you can see on screen right now, I've included the character pronouns. The actual Patreon post I made to announce the game included player pronouns as well. I just had to be a bit judicious with what information to include because of the limited real estate on my screen. Also, obviously, usually with things like this, there's video and stuff. My setup can't cope with video as well as capturing everything, so I apologize about that. Maybe in the future when my desktop's up and running, we'll be able to do that, because then I can route everything through my laptop and then just encode on my desktop. But for now, you've got this and some super secret stuff behind the cast list, which I guess I should go ahead and reveal because it is sort of pertinent. Oh, also, the thing next to my face here, this like glass thing, that's just a jar. It collects follows, cheers, and subscriptions to the channel. I don't expect it to be going off too much, but it's a nice kind of visual representation of the support for the channel. Also, something that's been changed since the prologue finished. There are no channel point redemption things active, just because it was a lot to keep track of, and I need to. Gosh darn it, I can't remove them. So please do not use channel point redemption stuff, because I'm not going to keep track of that to heal player characters. That was a lot of logistics that was for what was intended to be a one-shot. There is something I'm working on. I just need to figure out the practicalities of it. So there we go.
If you want, you can redeem your channel points to tell us to hydrate. The 100 hydrate stream will happen eventually.
Also, that Decent is working towards it. I have something planned for when they get
there.
it's
happening now. It's happening now. We've got to hydrate now.
Right, so this is really only going to make sense to Liam. But in my time in this world, which I am writing on Consume Liquid Kiwi, I did. The world that I'm creating with the Patreon is the homebrew setting I use for my D&D games. And up until this point, I think it's this one, everything has taken place in the southern hemisphere on the continent of Omnis, specifically focused around the city of Scour, and explored that area. I realised that the filters on this screen aren't terribly good, so that's great. Let's fix that so you can see the whole screen. Technical difficulties. More, I should have checked this, but it didn't really occur to me that... Oh, whoop. Let's just do it this way, so that y'all can see the entire screen. Nope, too far. Too far. There we go. And then just move the source up a smidge. I don't think that's overlapping anything. Looks fine to me. There is a thin black bar at the top. God damn it. Anyway, so I'll fix that while I'm speaking. So as I was saying, everything has so far taken place in the southern hemisphere on the continent of Omnis. But I thought for this we'd go crazy. Not only would we pick a different continent, we'd pick an entirely different hemisphere. So this is the continent of Lesh 3 in the northern hemisphere. I just need to get the filter going the right way. There we go. If you want pronunciation guides, by the way, that was last month's update. Basically, in Elven, it's a long vowel sound unless there's an E next to it, in which case it's a short vowel sound. So enjoy the mental gymnastics of pronouncing a double E sound as a short vowel when you read it. But Lash 3 was the Elven homeland for quite a while, until just over a millennia ago, when the cyclical cataclysms destroyed it. You'll notice kind of top northwest corner, there's a huge patch of water that says Muirnain ruined. It's got a sea monster in it. I did the maths in that's a 10-day wide lake at walking speed, where the former capital used to be. Also,
that's a big lake.
It is a big lake. This is you can see the scale bar at the bottom. It's like 1,500 miles across. These maps are all entirely kind of first draft. When they get released to the Patreon, I'm going to fix them. They'll have nice scroll work on and stuff. I didn't set a grid up for this, so I'm kind of confused how the rule is working, but there we go. And also of note is that Northern Hemisphere, Lash 3, Elven homeland. Everything northwest is the former Elven kind of home country, and that's been destroyed, so I can zoom in and you can see the fact that, hey look, ruins everywhere. Play will be starting in the northwest corner, but we've also got the Astral Heart Mountains, which are mountains made of quartz. This down here, Abrak, is the name of the country as well. The country is Cumrin. The city is Abrak. Abrak is also aquatic, but it is not ruined. It is just in a magical dome that keeps the water out. This is a tiefling country, so that'll be fun. Tieflings very inspired. Tiefling or infernal, they're inspired by Welsh in this world.
Nice.
Oh, does that mean I've got to try an accent?
No, not at all.
Yeah, accents 100%. I'm already doing mine now, so.
Raviel's mouth being the mouth of the Raviel River. Southwest and then northeast is Shatter Peak Hold, and there are some civilizations in the forest, but that's it. Also, I like this rather large lighthouse. I just liked the graphic. But we will start in the northwest corner in the ruins of Muirnain. Muirnain is the city, Muirnain is the country. But as you can probably tell by the name up here, that's not actually where we'll be playing. Oh, also, a note for my players. I, in theory, have set it up that at any point you can swap between the continent map and the ruined city map if you want to check anything. So
yes.
Even if we're in a battle map, you should be able to swap back out.
Yes, that appears to be the case.
Cool.
Right.
Player the character's now level 5. They ended the one shot at level 3. So you've done what have you done between now and then that has enabled you to gain that extra level of experience? What epic journey did you undertake?
Well, I think we bonded as a party through trials and tribulations in a pub.
It was the meat ship. That's what did it.
I had various battles with various sizes of doors, each getting more difficult as I went.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So that's that taken care of. Flesh ship, door fighting.
Never at the same time, though.
True.
Oh, yeah, of course. That's a faux pas.
You don't fight the doors on the flesh ship.
No.
No. We're gentlemen.
I was kind of bummed that Elise couldn't make it because she's playing a half-elf. So there is a maybe obvious answer to this, in that this is the Elven homeland. But there is a gnome scholar known as Boratsu Inkfinger, no family name given, who has contacted one of you about help with a job. Now, ideally, this is someone who knows Boratsu. Boratsu is a male gnome of advancing years, very well respected as an archaeologist, and would have reached out to one of you for help with an archaeological excavation.
Mara would have 100% heard of this guy's work because she's a massive history nerd. However, as a country bumpkin who was raised in a very secluded cloister in a forest, she likely wouldn't have any contacts with the outside world just yet. Part of her adventure is building those up, so I'm presuming another member of the party perhaps has this tie.
Cavius would definitely have come across someone of that sort of standing before on his travels.
Okay.
So there's a chance that I've met Barazzo Inkfinger.
I'd feel
somewhere.
like Rock knows him for years, and then you say his name, he doesn't know who that is, and then he looks at him and he goes, "Oh yes, I know him." Like lives next door to him and doesn't know his name, that sort of thing.
That's fair. Kind of because it's not terribly relevant, but because it's something that you may have questions about. So I mentioned no family name given. So obviously in core D&D rules, SRD rules, gnomish culture is like you have a given name and then you have a nickname based on deeds you undertake and then your family name. Gnomes in Thelenis still have the given name, in this case Baratsu, but they use their nickname as a unique identifier, so you know which Baratsu you're talking about. They don't generally give out family names because of the way that their society and culture works. So not every Baratsu is going to be this Baratsu. Rock has just called him ever since they met. Him and you.
The small one.
Don't forget.
How you doing, guy?
Friend.
Hey, mate. What's up, dude?
What's up, buddy?
Fella's up there.
So, anyway, so we've got Cavius knows him. Rock knows him. Does Vajaga know him in any way?
I probably would know of him because Vajaga is reasonably well travelled at this point, but he certainly isn't overly interested in scholarly activities necessarily. He just likes exploring.
No, that's totally fine. And if you want to explore, the Muenin is definitely the place to go, as it's full of monsters, dungeons, and ruins.
Ooh.
Sounds perfect.
When one of the previous avatars, so like demigods when fully ascended, decided that to lay waste to the entire country basically and destroy it, reduce it to rubble.
Will there be more flesh ships? That's the real question.
I mean, there might be if you play your cards right.
It's going to be our downtime activity. Just researching how to make a fleshy boat.
Oh God, think of the monstrosities we'll make.
We'll start out with a flesh wagon.
Why not just a horse?
I was
A
going to
regular
say,
old horse.
pulled by the flesh horse.
Yeah. Oh, no, we'll set up some meat bicycles and we'll sell them by the dozen.
Oh, that makes me feel sick. I don't know why.
Not only do they get you where you need to go, they'll keep you fed whilst you're getting there.
If you're on a long journey, you get there and it's a unicycle because you get to rest.
It's got. Anyway.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
That's how we get return customers.
It was more I didn't want it to get any worse than the unicycle. I was like, how can you get worse than that? You know what? I don't want to find out.
Turn up with like a set of handlebars and a bell.
Then you're the flesh bike.
Oh dear.
Okay, anyway. So, you boarded, unfortunately, a non-flesh boat. Well, how you got off of that island is unimportant, but let's just say
it's actually a mystery that we choose not to discuss as a party.
Yeah.
That's
we
fine
all
by me.
agreed not to bring up how we escaped the island or who we had to eat to do it.
R.I.P. Reese.
No.
Hiraeth is with you for the purposes of this. She is just, silent and absent. You boarded a boat, a non-flesh boat, a wooden boat, from Paxlis, which is also Northern Hemisphere. It's like the next continent across. So fortunately, you boarded a non-flesh. Decent humans upset by non-flesh boats. You boarded a normal boat for normal people, and it brought you to the northwest coast of Muirnin, to the ruined city of Vale Nain. I have to make this the active map and summon you all to it. The default zoom position is just the palace, but you can zoom out. Fun fact: both of these maps took like 12 hours to make each, so enjoy them.
Thank you.
That's too long, man.
No, this map is too big. This is 6,000 by 6,000 pixels.
Crazy. So it's a ruined city, but I assume it's not an uninhabited city.
Well, technically, this is city is a misnomer. I don't know why I put city. It's town. It's only a mile across. Could you believe? So I really need to rename that. But it's a mile across in the map making software. Diagonally. From like Northgate to Southgate. It's a ruined town, which the weeds have kind of long ago started overgrowing, hence a lot of greenery. But people have moved in the last millennia. There are very few elves. They don't talk about why they don't want to resettle their homeland, but there are very few elves here. The grey patches are kind of just open, apart from the square in the middle. That's a parade square. The three large, kind of smooth, almost grey patches are just where no one's built, basically. Unless there's a house there, obviously, in which case they're built. But it's rubble and kind of open-air markets and things.
Okay.
But houses have been built. People do live here. The houses, hopefully you can kind of figure out the income bands based on house colour and kind of space available around each house.
Yes.
I think the east side of the city is where all of the rich people with deep pockets seem to live.
That would seem to make sense.
It is. I was just hoping that my visual shorthand worked. A lot of the wealth here is in scholarship. So like this big red, the red building to the southeast is a university. Well, I say it's a library. It's a big ass library. A lot of the buildings nearby around it are used as kind of workshops and studios and things like that. The building in blue is is the Royal Palace. It was one of the first things to be Royal Palace. The Civil Palace is one of the first things to be restored, like 800 years ago at this point, and it's basically been maintained ever since, as was. The red building to the northeast is a huge chapel a huge temple to the Chorus, the member of the 12 responsible for kind of light and life and music. Think the Greek god Apollo, and you're not far wrong, except the Chorus is a triple deity. And then the much smaller building surrounded by a green patch to the southwest, where my cursor is currently. I could ping these, I guess. Is a smaller chapel to the just kind of to the 12 in general. There are tiny shrines for each member of the 12. The other red buildings you can see are warehouses along the docks. Rock has to stay outside. It's a town for smarts, apparently. It's not full of academics. There are labourers here, people who farm the fields outside the town. The town walls have been restored. There is a town watch, although it's mostly kind of like volunteers. Thriving markets do a trade in common goods as well as the finds people are still pulling out of ruins. In terms of scale for people on stream, because I haven't zoomed out far enough, just there's the scale bar for reference, 500 feet. So it's like, there we go. So if you want knickknacks, trinkets, archaeological goods, those can be bought in the markets, and then anything else that you'd reasonably find in a town is there. It's just a lot of it's still being rebuilt because there's no need to rebuild it because there's kind of
The population isn't high enough to sustain that much development.
Yeah, people keep going to the other ruined cities and towns and rebuilding those and things like that. You, however, have arrived at the dock.
Hooray!
I will give you whiplash and snap your camera over there.
Ah,
I only drew on the principal roads as well. So the roads are 10 feet. So the thicker roads are like the main roads, and then the thinner roads are just the secondary main roads, if that makes sense. There are tracks and footpaths throughout the city as well as the roads. So, like, please don't zoom in too far. It gets horrible. It gets potato quality. Just as a FYI.
It looks awesome.
it does look awesome.
I'm just, I'm just in awe. I am actually just like...
Angel Wraith can tell you how stressed I was about it yesterday. It took me, God, I want to say like 4 hours to do all the roads.
Oof, oof.
And that's with a tool that puts the buildings in for me. Like I drew the roads out and then used the tool for the buildings. Anyway, that's by the by. So you've arrived on your vessel made of wood. You can have made friends with the crew if you want to. Cavius has probably picked up a shanty or two, or maybe some aquatic folklore.
Probably both. Yeah.
Cool. Baratsu has given you like a... Baratsu's letter was mainly just like that he's willing to pay... let's say he sent the letter to Cavius. He's willing to pay 100 gold pieces for some help finding an artifact. Well, like 100 gold plus expenses for help finding an artifact, and that he can be found in the ruined city of Vale Nain. But he's a pretty absent-minded professor, so the fact that he hasn't included an address or anything is nothing new there.
Get Derek's, honestly.
Did the letter say anything about what the artifact was?
No, but based entirely on geography, it's probably related to Elven history and culture somehow.
Mm-hmm.
The party will have noticed that as soon as we actually all got our hands to the letter and read it, Mara's eyes went wide and there was a very, very blatant expression of starstruck, as well as a hyperactivity during the last few days of the voyage to just really get boots on the ground and go and fulfill this task for Baratsu.
Can someone read it to me?
Yeah, Mara would delight in rereading it again and again and again. Sometimes if you didn't even ask.
It's not terribly long, and it was clearly written in a hurry based on just the kind of the ink splodges and everything, as well.
So I'm gonna start asking people on the docks, and I'm just gonna say, "Are you the one who wrote the letter?" To the first person I see.
Okay, the first person you see is the dock hand who is tying up the vessel that you came in by using a rope made of rope.
Makes sense.
And he kind of eyes wide open, flinches, drops the rope. Oh, I can't read me.
Oh,
It's not him.
It's not me.
Thank you.
I promise.
Oh, okay. I just sort of pat him on the head and ask the next guy.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk down onto the docks and see if there's anyone who looks like they're a local, as if they're from the town. They're not like a sailor, but like they're actually from rounds. Bye.
There are people walking around, obviously, but there are a couple of just vendors with like cheap ale or cheap alcohol and food for presumably visiting sailors and dock workers.
I'll walk up to the first one I see and just say, good morning. Is it more? Is it
It can be whatever time of day you want it.
whatever time we want? Good morning. I'd love to purchase a bottle of your finest, and just see whatever he pulls out.
Yeah, the human behind the counter, kind of like average height, middle age, heavily kind of weathered and lined skin, like has obviously spent a lot of time by the sea. Reaches into it looks just like a wooden box, but kind of you can see arcane sigils drawn on it, and like grabs a glass bottle, uses a bottle opener to open it, and then passes it across to you. He's missing his forefinger. Sorry. It's just like two coppers.
Yeah, I happily hand over the copper pieces, and then I say to him, I go, we've just arrived. I'm looking for a good friend of mine, Barazzo Inkfinger. I'm wondering if you've heard of him and you know where he'd be.
He scrunches his face up as he thinks. Doesn't ring a bell.
I
know pretty much everyone on the docks, and doesn't. I don't think he's here.
I'd say he's an academic. Studies old ruins. You may not know where he is, but is there a certain place where those sorts of people hang out?
Oh yeah, you want the Library of the Eternal Flame. The Priest of the Guardian take care of that, and it kind of just gestures roughly in an easterly direction. You just kind of go across the entire city, and there's a big red roof building behind its own walls.
Mm-hmm. I go, oh, well, thank you very much, and I give him another copper piece on top of the two that I've already given him, and then turn back to tell the party where I think we should head.
Are you gonna drink that?
I just go, well, I was gonna save it for later, but if you're that desperate for a swig, I just pop open the top and hand it to you.
Rock's gonna look a bit guilty, be like, no, not desperate. I don't like that. I don't like that, Ryan.
Okay, I was wondering if you'd be able to see that.
Yes,
it says
we can.
Privately rolled some dice. Question mark.
Yes, I can do that. Excellent. Chat can of course see what I've rolled, but you can't.
And I hear the noise as well.
Appear behind the screen.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm holding up the bottle. But you didn't take it from me.
Oh, the bottle is chilled, by the way.
Bottle's chilled.
It's not a cold morning. It's chilly. You're at the relatively northern tip of a continent in the northern hemisphere, so it's pretty chilly. But this is like chilled even for that.
You said I saw that the chest he took it out of had like arcane sigils on it.
Yes.
Any chance that I would recognize them?
If you want to make an Arcana check, you can.
Arcana check. Oh, 6.
Luckily, super low DC of 5. They're pretty common for refrigeration purposes.
Okay.
They're in a lot of kind of like high-end restaurants and things.
Okay. So he's just, that's why it's chilled there.
It's a magical
fridge.
Yeah.
It's a magical fridge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Yeah.
I mean, it would have probably cost him a lot of money, but worthwhile investment
afterwards.
Exactly. And you can see that as you walk away, he even for this time of day, he has a reasonably large crowd compared to the other vendors on the docks. And kind of because you were close enough, kind of you also passively registered that he has a metal worktop with runes of heat on it, with like food just slowly heating.
Okay,
that's very cool.
But
everyone else is kind of like braziers or barbecues or just like boxes full of ice.
Yeah.
Seeing this everyday application of magic, Mara is her eyes are gonna have twinkles in them. She's she's kind of like she doesn't want to like let the vendor know that she's really ogling his box, but it is probably
Excuse me.
yeah, you heard me. It is probably the most obvious thing to everybody around her that she is. Her eyes are trained on the runes. She's looking at the intersection between them. It's you could see her brain is going a mile a minute. And having travelled with her now for a number of weeks, you would all know that Mara is a magic junkie in the best possible way. As she adores the study and the learning of magic. Is like, to her, magic is a world beyond the mundane, and therefore is something, excuse the pun, truly magical.
I'm just going to check something with the polyglot thing, so hopefully this works. In theory, in theory, only people who can understand Elvish will see this, but I don't think it will work. Yeah, that won't work. It's because I've got a token selected. That's fine.
Neat.
So anyone who understands Elvish can see that that's what the runes are. And then the ones on the other one are just heat and, again, preservation to keep it preserved. Noticing you kind of staring at his equipment, it kind of leans forward. I can, if you're interested, I can maybe point you in the direction of someone who sells things like this.
That would be wonderful. And like she takes his hand in both of hers and is like, Mara is a very tall girl, but you imagine for some, like, this is the equivalent of a toddler being told that they can go for ice cream. And she is staring at this guy's face with love in her eyes. And she's like, please, please, please. And she pulls out just like a sheaf of mismanaged notes, and like they're all different page sizes, and some of them have got doodles on. And she just pulls out a quill and says, please, please, write the address down, please.
So he grabs the quill and kind of looks hesitantly at it, and in a not very confident, kind of faltering hand, just writes down the Quill Market Academic Quarter, and then just passes it back to you.
Mara's going to thank him deeply, and she's going to pass him a silver piece, and like give him a big giant hug, and then run back to our compatriots and say, shall we leave then? We should find Baratsu, and then we should definitely go and find the vendor who sells one of those boxes.
Who's Baratsu?
Inspiration for that. Which there is a box on the character sheet to track inspiration.
Oh.
Let's see.
We're all looking right now, so.
Oh, I should probably set it off of private roles. So if I don't have to roll, you can all see it.
Got it.
We're going to get to the end of the adventure before Rock figures it out.
I don't think he'll figure it out.
No.
You'll be literally in front of the guy, and it'll be like,
who are you?
I know you, but what's your name?
Oh, Angel Wraith is she's gone on. She doesn't like Raph. Well, maybe she likes him. That's why she's,
Anyway, is anyone going to answer the who is Baratsu question?
Yeah, Mara's just kind of like, she's off in the corner, like kind of rambling about, he wrote such a fantastic work on ancient ruins and how magic interacted, how magic was also probably the cause of the destruction, and she's like just rattling off his entire bibliography. Whilst I imagine one of the more pragmatic party members explains.
Yeah, I just said Rock. I'm listening to all this. I'm quite interested in like the entire works of them, but I do tend to Rock. He's the guy who sent us the letter.
Yeah.
Oh, Letterman. Yes.
Letterman. Yeah, exactly, Rock. Letterman.
And then I turn to the next person. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah. I just tell him that. Go on.
Okay, I'll turn to the next person we see and ask them the same question. I've got the letter in my hand and I'm just asking people, did they write it?
Okay. Everyone says no. Would you believe?
Yeah, I turn to Rock and go, look, no, we've been told he's not. He's the other side of the city. I think he's this way, and I sort of nudge along to the direction that we were told.
He happily follows. He looks relieved that someone's taken charge.
Bless him.
I figured out how I can do language posting just with an invisible token.
Oh, great.
There we go. Just gonna have to remember that it's there.
That the mysterious shadowy figure on the northeast of the city.
Has it gone? Should be hidden.
It's gone now.
Yeah,
Yes.
cool. But now
that man was the size of a house.
Just make sure this worked.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yes,
we did all get dragged along to that though. The map pulled us along to it.
I'll turn that off.
I think it adds a bit more, mystique. Just says the name and something in.
There we go. That should not happen again. Sorry about that.
Great.
So now I can do that whenever language stuff happens.
What language was that in?
Elvish.
Did anyone understand it?
I could understand it.
Can the chat understand it?
For reference, for context for Twitch chat, there's a module. So we're using Foundry as a virtual tabletop, and there's a module you can install called Polyglot, which if you set a language up, and your character can't speak that language, it just puts it as Futhorc runes, I think, in the chat. I also realised that languages wasn't capitalised, and it was bothering me. So when the players are like, what does that say? That's because they can't actually read what it says. Anyway, so you're assaulting everyone on the street that you meet.
Not harshly assaulting them. Gentle assault.
Gentle assaulting.
Stop resisting.
Whoa.
So with all of the interruptions to kind of steer our arc away from all of the random folk on the street, how long will it take us to reach the place that we've been directed towards, which is the giant library?
Yes, so the city, you could have checked maps before, and as I say, the city is only like a mile across, so about it, assuming straight line and no crowds, half an hour's walk, less. But you're in the, let's say, low-run area of the city. It's full of people, crowds. Pretty much every heritage is represented here but elves. There are a couple of half-elves, but they all seem distracted in some way. And like Mara, every now and then you do catch a psychic melancholy, is the best way to describe it, but you kind of just shrug it off.
I was actually going to ask, given the distinct lack of elves, is Mara drawing any attention more than Baba Yaga or Rock might be?
Not particularly, no.
Great. Fantastic. Mara prefers far much to fly under the radar.
In fact,
does not be the center of attention.
Vojaga's catching more curious glances than anyone is. The Abera don't really travel all that much. So...
Yeah.
Not
I'm a rarity.
Yeah, no one's really quite sure what to make of the sort of like vaguely scintillating coated walking feline person with the gun.
Yeah. A very big gun.
And the crowds don't impede your progress. Like they don't cluster around in front of you and stop you, but they make for slow going, which makes it kind of all the more alarming. As you are reaching the edge of the... are you all zoomed out, or are you zoomed in?
Yeah.
I'm zoomed all well.
Okay. So when you get to about here, where the slums meet the middle-class housing, there is a startled cry from like a 3-story building. Can I have a dex save from everyone, please?
Oh. Ba-ba-ba-ba.
You say saving throw?
Yes, dexterity saving throw, please.
Yeah.
Wow. Less wow.
10.
Just having a tiny bit of a struggle with the system right now. It's okay. It's fixed. It's just an issue with my resolution.
I might make the dice a bit bigger. Okay, Mara. Mara, you take 5 points.
I see that. Oh, I was gonna say, I see that Mara's not moving as quick, and I use helping hands.
Okay, that's fine.
So that means Mara can Oh, all my abilities have disappeared from. Oh no, hang on. Sorry, that's wrong. So Mara, you can re-roll. This right. Helping hand as a reaction, you may allow an adjacent creature to re-roll an ability check.
Yes.
Doesn't
saving
say saving throw. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Tragic.
Mara, you take 5 points of piercing damage. As a piano falls from the like the window above. You can see where people have been trying to hoist it into the building, and everyone has a split second to react because there's a cry of like shock, horror, the sound of rope snapping. And then, Mara, you just get snarled up in people as you try to get out of the way. The piano doesn't hit you. You just get hit with the splinters and shrapnel. There's a heated discussion immediately from the people operating the machinery about whose fault it is that it broke. And then, could everyone please roll a perception check?
Absolutely. Mara's going to pat herself down as well, and like get the splinters out of her hair and out of her clothes.
I mean, well on for my character. That was a natural 1.
Yeah, Rock's got his back turned because he's asking someone if they're a gnome.
I dodged it perfectly, and then straight away turned to someone with the letter out. Are you this guy?
Shouldn't you have had advantage on the roll, actually, Andrew? For danger,
Should I?
Danger sense.
Oh.
Do you have danger sense at this level?
Yes, maybe.
I think that's advantage on dex saves.
Ooh.
I mean,
no, the dex save I got 10.
Yeah, it's just something to remember.
Well, I'll do it again then.
I was just seeing who got the lowest, basically.
Advantage is a lie.
Vajaga and Cavius, you both, assuming you're looking around, you both notice kind of like the glint of metal sticking out of the like the wood that this building's made from, about where the rope has snapped.
Interesting. I point and say, sabotage.
Does it look like it's part of the building, or that?
No, like the building is like a mixture of plaster and wood. Presumably, plaster is obviously over some kind of other building material. There's no metal in its construction apart from like door hinges and handles.
Mm-hmm.
It's maybe a foot, so about 30 centimeters below the window, below the giant hole in the wall that's clearly been made for the piano to go through.
That's where the metal is.
Yeah.
I go up to one of the people who was like lifting the piano into the building. I just go, who lives here?
Depends which. I mean, we're contracted to help the Green Apples with the kind of gestures at the splinters and shattered piano keys with the piano. There's a couple of other families in the building though.
And so this, it looks like the metal was slightly below the.
Yeah, so the whatever it is sticking out of the woodwork about 30 centimeters below the window frame, and it's about level with where the rope has snapped.
So that would be on the same floor that the piano was getting lifted into.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I just go. We should probably go and see. We should probably just go make sure everyone up there is okay. And I just go to like, is the door in front of us?
Yeah, the main door the front door for this building is in front of you.
Yeah. I just want to sort of like nudge the rest of the party and just like hint that maybe we should go up, just see what's happening, because there's obviously something dodgy's just happened. Someone just tried to kill us.
How old is the piano right now?
It's pretty much destroyed. I mean, the frame's still intact, but the legs are snapped. Most of the keys are either missing or scattered across the floor. It made a loud bong noise as it hit the ground.
So this was just like a flat up. It's completely like unusable.
Oh yeah,
Sounds a bit like it.
Mara's got to kind of like she's going to swear in Elven, and by swear I mean she's going to say butts because she was never taught to swear. And her shroud's going to flare, and like a protective aura, roughly like orangey gold, is going to surround her. She casts mage armor on herself because she does not want to experience splinters in her cheeks again.
That's fair.
I just sort of walk into the building and start taking the stairs up to the. What floor did it look like it was? Like it was going
the top
into.
floor. It was the third floor.
The third floor. Yeah, I just start taking the stairs up to the highest floor then.
Yeah,
I'll follow.
It's like inside. It's pretty much what you'd expect. It's like a small hallway with a door off of it and a really narrow staircase going up.
Even though I did a disastrous perception, can I follow them?
Yeah. You just didn't see the metal.
Yeah, I sort of nudged everyone. I was like, so I think someone. I think we need to see what's going on up here. Just make sure you're all aware of where I'm going. Yeah, I just go to the top floor.
Okay. Do you knock on the door at the top floor?
If it's closed, I'll knock on the door. With a lot of like a loud knock on the door. And just go. Well, is everyone in there okay?
There's a couple of seconds, and then female voice. Yes, we're fine. Thank you. It's just a bit of a shock.
I turn to Rock and say, "Rock, please knock again and ask them to open the door."
I would like to knock harder than others. Can I use intimidation to knock?
On the door?
Sure.
Well, more to intimidate the people inside.
Right.
To open it.
Let's see if I can figure this out.
Ooh.
Let's see if I can figure something out. I'll use your character sheet because you're the one doing the roll.
Yeah.
So that's how you roll that. I guess it would just be... Yeah. So if you click... So, because I want you to roll with strength for intimidation.
Right.
If you click strength and then click ability check...
Yeah.
In situational bonus, just add +2 for your proficiency. +3, sorry, for your proficiency bonus.
Okay.
And then just a normal roll, please. Actually, you have advantage. They're a bit shaken by events.
Yes.
Chat, if you want me to make the dice bigger, just let me know.
20.
20. There's like a
Wait. I think it says 2D. Oh yeah, it was advantage.
Yeah, 2d20 KH is like you pick, roll 2d20 and pick the highest.
Sorry.
That's fine. There's a squeak, and then the door is like pulled open rather hurriedly. Behind it, there's like a 7-year-old girl. She's got no shoes on, hair in pigtails. Hair is like frizzy brown all over the place, but someone's tried to tame it, put in pigtails. Really kind of like plain dress on. The room beyond is pretty much void of any furniture except a really uncomfortable looking wooden sofa and like a dining table with some chairs around it. And you can see the far end, there's just a giant hole in the wall with some rope dangling from in front of it. There's a...
I was going to say...
is she a human?
Oh yeah, she's human.
Can I turn to her and ask her, still in my intimidation voice, are you the man of the house?
The guy by the window who I was about to describe.
I stick by what I said. I still like that.
Okay. Yeah, by the window, kind of turning to look, is probably a half elf based on the very slight point to his ears, and a human woman, both kind of middle aged, both kind of emaciated with like cracked fingernails, clean, but clearly not terribly well off, in low fantasy medieval times. The man kind of turns and, please leave my daughter alone.
I'm just gonna sort of like take a step towards her and go, I'm sorry to barge in like this, but that piano almost killed us. And it looks like maybe it may have been done on purpose.
What? I mean, the rope just seemed like the rope snaps from here.
Does there look like there is any... So you said the metal looked like it was coming out of the building. Is there anything from the inside that I could see anything going out of the wall?
The hole is... There's definitely enough space between the bottom of the hole and the floorboards in this room that you'd be able to see anything at that height, and there's nothing kind of in the room itself.
Can Mara make a perception check to see if she can identify what perhaps may have caused the rope to snap? Because ropes tend not to snap.
If you want. Are you going over to the window to look out at the rope, or?
Yeah, I'm going to look at the end of the frayed rope.
Okay. Man, that 3D dice is so satisfying to watch bounce around the screen. It's not frayed. It is a smooth cut.
Ooh. Mara's going to turn to the rest of the group. And
actually, with a 21, there's movement kind of in the distance across the rooftops. So I'm going to snap your viewpoint a smidge.
Mm-hmm.
But so you're kind of like at that house.
Mm-hmm.
There is movement over here. You just see you can't tell what it is, and it's gone after a heartbeat. But there's definitely movement on the rooftop.
I'm going to turn around to the gang and explain. There's somebody on the rooftops. I suspect that they're the ones who cut this rope. She's going to pull the rope in so that the rest of the party can see. She's going to point to it and explain that this was a smooth cut. It was not a snapped rope. And she's going to address the man of the house and explain. Now,
The girl.
Yes. The girl. No, sorry. The other man of the house.
Okay.
She's going to address him and say, "Sir, you may be able to tell by my slightly blood-spotted clothes, but I have just experienced some awful splintering from your fallen piano. And you saying that this rope snapped when it was very clearly cut does not add up. So would you please, and I implore you, explain your side of events truthfully this time?"
He kind of like his eyes go wide, but cut. Why would anyone? Why would we just spent a year's worth of wages on this piano? Why would we? We just wanted to teach the kid to play. Why would anyone Why would anyone do this?
I would like to.
Is he
his partner, wife, is just crying at this point.
Is he does he seem to be telling the truth?
Yes. Obviously, insight check is required for more information, but
Yeah, I mean, can I do an insight check?
Yes, of
Like,
course.
can I?
Yeah, Vajaga also is suspicious.
Oh, the 9. That's a 9.
He seems to be telling the truth.
Okay. Can I look out of the hole and see where I saw the metal? Is there anything?
There's a throwing knife sticking out of the building.
Okay. Can I reach down and pull it out?
Yeah, it's not very deep. It's not in there very deep, but it's kind of wiggle it loose. It's a short piece of. It's a short double-edged blade with just a plain wooden handle inset into the. It's not a pommel stone because it's not on top of it. It's kind of just wedged into the flat surface of the hilt itself. Is a shard of a quartz or a crystal of some kind.
Okay. Is it? It's just but it's like a standard throwing knife with a crystal in where the pommel would be almost.
Well, so I described that very well. So obviously you've got the hilt, which is usually cylindrical, and then you've got a flat edge at the end. Mm-hmm. The crystal or whatever has been pushed into that flat bit.
Oh, okay, sure. Is it? So I'm trying to work out how to phrase it. Like, does it seem special in any way, or is it a throwing knife with a crystal in it, or is it maybe magical, or is it like?
There's no arcane runes on it, so short of a detect magic spell or an identify spell, there's no, or just wild experimentation or you study it for an hour, I guess. There's no surefire way of telling if something's magical.
I'll cast detect magic on it then.
Okay. It's not magical. It is just a throwing knife.
Okay. Sorry.
No, that's fine. I like how you can place a template for detect magic.
Yeah, that's good. That I didn't realize. I only clicked on that, so it would use the spell slots. I didn't realize it would come up with.
And there's the template.
Although, is there anything within? Is there anything magical within 30 foot?
How do I delete this?
It's
Control
there
Z.
now.
Ooh, that might be a problem.
Have to accept it.
Yeah, I don't know how to delete that. Where's the template? Oh, I was on the wrong thing. Never mind. There we go. There is nothing magical nearby apart from if any of you has a minor magical item. I can't remember.
Yeah, so I'm used to. I'd be used to the stuff that my fellow adventurers are carrying on them, so I'd know what they were carrying. Yeah. Okay, so there's
Mara
nothing
has
unexpected.
An almost opaque aura around her from her shroud. So
yeah, also that.
Yeah, but you're probably used to that by now. To the naked eye, without magical detection, it's just kind of like a faint orangey heat haze surrounding her. But to the magical eye, it's like a solid barrier.
Okay. I take the dagger. I just sort of I sort of put it away, because I'm gonna want to have a look at this crystal later when we get a bit of a chance.
Okay.
Can I ask the man how much the piano cost?
He says it cost 20 gold.
Fair. My guy looks at him. I give my what's it called? My loot. I give my loot to this perhaps gnome that's next to me. This all we know is she's small and a female. I give my loot to the girl and 2 gold and just say, learn the loot. It's much better.
Okay, thank you. She's terrified still. Her knees are shaking.
Yeah, good. She should be.
Yeah, Mara would probably go over on one knee and say, "I'm so sorry for the fright. I understand that this might be terrifying, but what happened outside was very, very dangerous, and we want to make sure that nobody was hurt." And she's gonna tussle her hair, and then stride towards the door and say, "Perhaps we should head out, guys, and keep an eye on the rooftops."
Yeah, I'm gonna nod and just follow, just because there's not much else we can do here.
Okay. That was what I rolled for, by the way. I have a random encounters table.
Nice.
Oh, that's what the piano was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've marked. I no longer have a loot. Don't worry.
Okay. I don't know if it worked, but Kevius should have a dagger on his sheet now.
Oh, let's see here. I already had a dagger on my character sheet.
Okay, so
Um,
maybe I need to open the sheet when I drag items across. Because I didn't have it open. There you go.
oh, there you go. So I've now got another dagger on
Yeah,
my character
I
sheet.
will
Yes.
edit it for you accordingly.
Okay, great. Thank you.
As throwing
yeah,
knife. So, what's your plan?
Continue on, I guess.
I'm just gonna say we could try and follow whatever that thing was on the rooftops then, or we could just keep going where we planned. I doubt we're gonna find whoever that was. They probably know the city much better than we do.
And they have an enormous head start.
Yeah.
Do you think they were trying to attack us with the piano?
Potentially.
Can I make a history check, Ryan, to see if I can recall any outstanding individuals in the crowd nearby where the piano landed?
Yeah, sure.
Can Rock make a history check to remember the piano falling?
I was going to make a joke about how everyone was outstanding in the street. You couldn't see anyone in the street, but you remember as you took a splinter to the face, like the concussive force of the blast did knock your eyesight kind of upwards briefly, and you saw a flicker of movement on the roof opposite the building.
Oof. This is intriguing.
If the person knew we were here, perhaps they wrote the letter.
It's definitely possible.
Yeah, Mara
like
would
to
share this
imagine-
information with the party, that perhaps this was not a targeted attack based on our work, but perhaps was some kind of and she looks around like really shadily, says really low under her breath, a turf scuffle between two opposing factions, and like you could tell the only way she's learned about this was through just basically reading about it, and in nothing very scholarly. And she's looking about, and like she every time someone comes near her, she's like looking at them over her shoulder and stuff.
I like the idea that she might have learned. Obviously, your character might have learned about gangs from like a play.
I was
You
gonna
know,
say,
with them
whatever the
walking down
West Side
Yeah.
Story equivalent is. Yeah.
Walking down the street, like clicking their fingers, like, "Oh my god, it's a gang!"
Are you still in the like the house?
Has she learned the loot yet?
Survey says no.
Then we leave.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna start heading downstairs.
People are still talking about it when you go outside, because something just happened. So.
I'm going to turn back to everyone and go. We should probably just keep a bit more of an eye out, because obviously we don't know if that was us they were targeting. And I go, and Mara, especially you. We don't want anything else like that happening to you.
Oh, no,
Mara was the only one who got hurt, weren't you?
Yeah, she's trying to downplay it, but like she's got a couple of scuffs and scrapes across her forearms and face.
As I say that, oh no, I've got particle inspiration only lasts 10 minutes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, no, okay, I won't do it then. 10 minutes isn't very long if we're traveling across the city. But yeah, I'm gonna sort of keep an eye out, sort of on the rooftops as we're walking through the rest of the city to get to where we're aiming for.
Okay.
Can we cut through across this part? How do I make a thing? Can we cut through across there?
You can, yes. It's just kind of like open. I mean, the rock piles are merely suggestive, just indicative of what's there. It's basically an open plaza that it just hasn't been restored.
I suggested to the party go. Maybe it's best if we stay somewhere where people can't get the drop on us.
Mara's going to shoot him a death glare.
That was a great joke.
Yeah, that awful pun.
Can we still see this building?
You can't see the building, but you can see the wall around it.
So we know to go there, even not following the roads. We still know the direction.
Yeah, you know to go east, and you can see where the sun is. Yeah. So
fair.
I mean, even if you go too far east, you'll just hit the wall of the town.
Walls can't stop me.
Doors can, walls cannot.
Okay, we walk in.
Okay, so you cross. Do you just cross the plaza?
Yeah, I'd like to. As we're walking, I would very much like to keep my eyes on any rooftops.
Yep. You don't see anything on any rooftops. You do see where people have kind of set up small shelters for themselves in the piles of rubble. I say piles of rubble. A lot of this has obviously been cleared, and then everything's been neatly. They're neat piles, if that makes sense. They've been pushed there rather than just left. And people have clearly started living in them. Or here and there you can see where people have taken advantage of the way that the rain presumably trickles through one and then starts growing mushrooms at the bottom of a pile or things like that. You do see, as you cross as well, signs of a marketplace. Like just a large-ish expanse that's been cleared with kind of like chalked outlines for presumably market stands and things like that. But the market does not appear to be on today. And you can sort of easily get through the houses on the other side of the plaza back onto the road.
We're not going through anyone's gardens, are we?
These houses do not have gardens. The grey-topped houses do. That's why they're slightly further apart.
I see.
There is an option to have the gardens drawn on, but it looked a bit naff, so I turned it off.
Fair. No, I just wanted to know whether you were like jumping fences or.
Oh no, you can kind of It's clearly not the way you're designed to be going or expected to be going, but you can do it.
Nice.
Yeah. Once you squeeze through the houses on the other side, kind of the street. So I mean, the streets that you were on after the dirt from the docks, they were it was just like hard packed dust and stone, and then a bit of paving stone, cobblestone as you crossed over the road to go between the houses. This street is again paving stones, but there are just no weeds growing up between them. There's a pavement with no weeds in it, and you can kind of. There's not much traffic either. You've left the crowds behind. As you squeeze between the buildings, you just hear a horse in the distance kind of clopping along with like a covered coach behind it. The houses opposite you are huge. I can tell you based on the settings that I used in the program that they're between, I think it was like 20 and 60 feet wide. So pretty big. And their construction material reflects wealth. It's more stone than wood. And kind of most of them have windows or metallic kind of like grills to let ventilation in. You can, if you happen to glance right from where you are, you can look all the way down the road to the gatehouse. It is open, and you can see there is like guards on it as they are doing their job.
Guards.
And then north, you can see the walls surrounding what presumably is some sort of important building in the city. You're not entirely sure what, though. But east-ish, northeast-ish, you can still see the walls surrounding where you've been told the scholars are.
I'd say we just keep heading towards where the scholars are. That's where we think we need to go, unless anyone else wants to check out the rest of the city.
No, I'm, Sherlock Rock at the moment, or Chirac, I don't know.
Rock. Do you want to cross the rubble again, or are you going to follow the roads?
I think we'll follow the road Well, from where we are now, we're in sort of a richer part of the town, aren't we?
Yeah.
How close does it seem to us now? It looks quite close, doesn't it?
Again, I'm going to give you whiplash if you zoomed in too far, but you're kind of there-ish.
Okay. Is everyone okay taking the path this time?
Yeah, I say we
Yeah.
follow the road.
Yeah.
North or
But
south?
again, keeping an eye out. I'd say north. If we could see that there's a crossroad, could we tell there's like a crossroads?
Yeah. You can see you can see enough of the buildings to assume there's a fork in the road.
Yeah, I'd say we just head up there and then take the right to head east to where we think we should be heading.
Yeah, Mara's getting quite excited about the fact that we're headed towards what is essentially just like a giant repository for nerds.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nerdsville.
So you head to that crossroads, and the moment you turn onto the road leading straight to the library, this road is the same width as the other one. It's about 10 feet wide. It's equally well maintained, and you have a clear view of the gatehouse. The gate's proudly open, and through it you can see the It is technically a temple to the Guardian, but you can see what you assume to be the place where the scholars are, according to the man on the docks. It's, from what you can see through the gatehouse, pretty impressive. Kind of like intricately carved marble. There's, as you can see on the map, it's in its own landscaped grounds. You think its doors might be open, but it's a bit of a way off still.
Just start walking towards it.
Okay.
Yep, I'm following.
You get closer, and yes, the doors are open. As you get a better view of it, there's no guards on the gatehouse either. As you get, so assuming you don't stop and just kind of pass under it, there's just a feeling of pass through the gatehouse, I should say. There's a feeling of just calm as you step into the landscaped gardens around this temple. So again, for context, for people who aren't aware of the homebrew stuff, the Guardian and the Seeker are twin knowledge deities. The Guardian's kind of exactly what it sounds like. They're the librarians, and the Seeker's more Indiana Jones. So there's just an aura of peace and calm reservedness around the entire area that you're not sure if it's magical or just everything has been planted to be such. My timer's not going off for Nightbot. I need to fix Nightbot. But the doors are open to the Grand Library / Temple.
As we go through the gatehouse, can I wave at the guards?
Yes, you can. There are two. They are probably monks.
I think I know them.
Okay. One of them gives you a wary look.
Yeah, he knows me.
I was going to be doe-eyed looking up at this huge library. This is probably the biggest library she's ever seen. And she would like to head up to kind of like the main doors and find a reception desk.
Yeah, totally fine. The doors are up a flight of steps. They are like grey marble with a white marble inlay along the edge. The building itself is probably 3 stories tall. The roof is as red as it appears on the map. And it's all supported by columns that at first kind of look like maybe abstract carvings, but they've just got giant letters carved into them. That if you had enough time, patience, and perspective, you could probably read everything written on the columns.
Can I, as we walk into the reception, if we're saying I know him, can I be like, I know a guy who lives here? Can I take this? Let's show him the letter and ask him if he knows who wrote it.
Yeah. So inside there is a reception area. It's a relatively small room, just kind of like wooden paneled walls, polished stone floor. There is a reception desk with a couple of tiers to it. Like there's one for presumably like the taller heritages, one for the medium heritages, and then one for halflings and gnomes. With a person of appropriate stature behind each one. So which one are you approaching?
Well, I was going to, say that I know
Oh, you're
guy
just like
who can-
addressing the room in general.
addressing the team, the group.
Okay, yeah. Which one do you show the letter to? Tall, medium, small.
Well, what I mean is that if I know of this guy from before, can I take the team to his room where he is rather than using the reception? Just be like, I know where to go.
Oh,
and start
I've got
walking
you.
off.
I've got you.
I don't know if you want me to roll like a history.
How well do you know Baratsu?
Well,
I mean, you can't remember his name, obviously, but
I don't remember a lot of names.
Make a history check then.
Okay. I just like the idea of asking him about who is this guy, and it's him. Oh.
You have no idea where Baratsu's room would be.
No. Okay, that's fine. Well, I'll take it to the gnome. The
Okay.
gnome
Yeah,
in the wall. So I'm bending right down to speak to him.
There is a gnome sitting behind the lowest tier of the counter.
And I'm assuming he looks at me like an idiot because there's obviously several other counters I could have used.
Yeah, pretty
That would
much.
have been
Kind
better.
of looks up from the ledger that he's been writing in, kind of pushes the spectacles up his nose with an ink-stained finger. Would you not be more comfortable over there? And it just points like 3 feet down the counter to the higher top for people of your height.
I look over, I turn back, and I go, "No."
And it just kind of shrugs and sighs.
Who wrote this? And I show him the letter. I take it from Mara's hands, and I show him the letter.
Okay. Kind of glances at it for like a fraction of a second. Oh, this is Baratsu's handwriting, but we haven't seen him in days.
I turn to the team. I'm just like, days? What do you mean days?
Oh, for context, you got the letter like 3 days. Not 3 days. How long would it take you to travel? About 10 days ago.
Yeah.
Would it...
Ask the kindly gnome, where was Baratsu last? You seen him, and did he say where he was going?
Well, he took he kind of like hops off the seat he's been sitting on because it's quite clearly going to be there a while. Grabs a ledger from just a big desk behind the three of them. Thumbs through it. He hired out the hexagonal reading room 4 days ago, and then I assume if he's not, well, he's either in here or at home basically. Since work kind of ground to a halt on his dig, he's got nothing else to do but go through his research notes.
Using my background trait, which gives me pretty much a free reign of most libraries, just due to my background, I would ask if they could direct us towards the octagonal reading room. Perhaps we'd catch him there.
One hexagonal, different shape.
Yeah, sorry, my apologies.
That's fine. So how does that present? Here you go,
Mara,
Liam. Here's your chance to shape the world even more than you already have. What kind of globe-spanning librarian hood is there?
So, Mara was part of a cloister dedicated towards an avatar, who recruited her to join him as an avatar for his own cause. However, his library was not his own and was instead designed. It was built up and maintained by a small cloister of nuns dedicated to the knowledge gods, who presumably have small chapters spread far and wide in the biggest learning centers of the world.
Okay. So you have like a token of the Sisters of the Child Quill or something like that.
Yes.
Cool.
I would present that and explain that I'm one of the order, and I would be very grateful if you could direct us towards the room he rented out.
Kind of glances at it. Eyes go wide. Yes, of course. I will have one of the assistant librarians show the way.
She nods her head and shakes his hand, thankfully, and says to the gang, "Come on, we should probably head off. We can't keep them waiting. They're all very busy people."
Sorry.
I was going to say my guy would like to look at the receptionist and be like, "Also, my friend lives here," and then just does not give the name because he can't remember the name, and it's just a terrible conversation that you don't have to.
The gnome's
roleplay,
just
don't
kind
worry.
of looking like, "Please, go on with the name," and then just kind of shrugs when it is obvious that a name is not going to be forthcoming.
He is a friend of Rock.
The gnome does like ring a bell to summon an assistant librarian, and a couple of minutes later, a couple of moments later, I should say, sorry, a dark-haired half-elf, like dark brown hair, with like extremely piercing blue eyes, and this finely made waistcoat, which appears to be some sort of uniform, kind of enters from the doors next to the desk, and kind of, "You rang," and the gnome basically tells her to take you to the hexagonal reading room. Please follow me. Do you follow her?
Absolutely. Mara would be marveling at the hustle and bustle of a library this size, since her own chapter was well stocked with a wealth of knowledge, but it was a rather small building, all things considered.
Mm-hmm. Stepping through. Sorry.
So as everyone's walking off, I turn to the gnome and just say, where was the dig? Where was the excavation that's being apparently now called off?
Oh, some days from the city, I think. You'd have to check his notes for more information.
Where would his notes be?
Here, probably, or at his house.
Look, I know you're very busy here, but obviously if he's been gone for some time, it could be quite worrying. Could you let us know where his house is, and we promise we'll go and find him. Look, you know he's our friend. He sent us this letter. We want to make sure he's okay.
He looks deeply uncomfortable, but does kind of copy out because he just kind of grabs presumably an employee contact list or something, and copies out a quick address for you.
Thank you very much. We'll keep you updated if we get any pressing information. And then I go to follow everyone else who's run off.
So the half-elf leads you through the doors, and it becomes immediately apparent this is not a 3-story building. So the bookshelves appear to be floor to ceiling, but you aren't on the ground floor, or you aren't on the bottom floor, I should say. So you're on a mezzanine level, and above you can see the mezzanine levels for floors 1, 2, and 3. But you can also look down for at least another 2 or 3 floors. There are alcoves with presumably staircases in periodically. The place is lit entirely magically below ground, presumably to avoid fire. Above ground, you're not entirely sure how it's lit, but you can see the glow of lights. Actually, you can't see any sign of torches or, say, continual flame spell below either. The half-elf in front of you just kind of leads you past a couple of staircases. They're wrought iron staircases going both up and down. Occasionally, you'll find a small devotional niche to the Guardian. Some for the Seeker, just kind of tucked between books. Presumably just to ensure the security of the library more than anything. But she leads you to a room that just says hexagonal reading room. And she kind of turns with keys in hand. This is the one. Yes, the hexagonal room?
Yes, thanks. Mara's going to very lightly rap on the door and then let herself in.
It is locked when you try.
Oh no, disaster. She would turn to the half-elf, very sweetly smile, and ask, "Do you have the key, please?"
Yes, it's this one. And she kind of puts the key in and turns it. She also looks at a board by the door. It should be empty.
Fantastic. And from this board, is it written in a language I can read, i.e., Common or Elvish?
Common.
Can
you could like it just says hexagonal reading room, and then there's a large piece of slate with like chalk dust on it, and a piece of chalk on a string attached to the board.
And the slate's currently clear, I imagine.
Yeah, it's just chalk dust.
Right, great. I would like to head in, and kind of take in the room.
Okay, so the first thing that anyone entering the room notices is that it's circular. It is not hexagonal.
They lied.
They did. What it does have, however, is a huge six-sided reading desk, just in the middle of the room. It's got a couple of those flaps, so you can lift it up and get into the middle of the desk because it's got a hole in the middle, and it's just covered in papers and books and codices and slates. There is a fireplace in here. It is laid but not lit. The papers are tidied, but kind of, if you take any time to glance at them, they're all related to, perhaps unsurprisingly, Elven history. And way above you, like way higher than 3 stories would suggest, there's like just a softly burning golden glow. Not burning with like heat, but just kind of rippling light quality.
My guy, Vark, sort of looks around. So many books, he just goes, ugh, books. And just sort of sits down.
I didn't come to a library for books.
Yeah. Let's go kill this library. Oh.
Can I make some flavor of check on the giant gold ball?
Arcana would do it. Or perception if you just want to see more about the ball.
Mara's very, very much a magic nerd, so I'll roll Arcana.
It seems like someone has taken the light spell and just made it big.
Ooh. Mara's gonna pull out a book and just like start doodling and like putting her fingers up into a square to frame it and like try and doodle it down and like making notes with like a bunch of question marks next to it. And if anybody were to glance at them, it'd just be like, how, when, like who, with like a list of just nonsense ramblings and like a little bit of gushing about how cool it was too.
Okay.
So it's a 6-sided table. Are there 6 chairs around it?
There are, yes. They're kind of like really. They're definitely like study chairs. Like they don't have arms. But they have these really thick leather cushions, and the embroidered backs.
Yeah. Are any of them higher than the others? Like any which would make it easy for a gnome to sit on and reach the table?
They all seem the same height, but they all have like little screws on the legs.
Do we don't know he's a gnome, do we? Yet.
Yeah.
From the name, you can guess that he's a gnome.
Okay.
And
cool.
I've met him before,
Also,
so I would know.
Oh yes, of course. Sorry.
Look, just because you can't remember about your friend.
Oh no, I was just wondering if we knew he was a gnome. That's all. But that makes sense.
Both Cavius and Vojaga know he's a gnome.
Yep, I'm not pretending I do. Don't worry.
So none of the chairs look like they've been set for a gnome to sit there.
No,
in particular.
No. In fact, they're all kind of very evenly high. They're all the same height, let's say.
Okay. I just want to have a look at the papers on the desk. I know you said they're all related to Elven history. Is there anything, like with a closer look, is there anything more that links them? Is there anything in particular about Elven history or a certain place or a certain artifact?
Ooh. I guess that would be an investigation check.
Investigation? Oh, come on. 8.
Not that you can tell, unfortunately.
Okay. I then just go to like look around the rest of the room. I'm just looking out for anything in particular in the room that could show that maybe he's been here recently.
Mm-hmm. Is Vojaga doing anything in particular?
He's impressed, but he also isn't particularly scholarly, so...
Okay.
he's just impressed at the building work more than necessarily what's in the building. Although, if he does, thought does come to him that perhaps he should see what maps they may have, since he likes maps.
There are some maps on the tables, definitely.
He shall leaf through the maps and see if he can make heads or tails of what they're telling him.
Let's see if I can figure out how to do this. I thought there was a way that I could pull just one person to a scene. Aha! So this is for William only. The maps detail this patch of woodland.
Okay. In any great detail, or just
reasonable detail. To the extent where it's kind of like like you've got just like you've got one big one of the forest, and then several smaller ones that are zoomed in on different places within the forest.
Would this make sense to be the location or locations of digs? Since
honestly, it's the kind of place where anything is the reasonable location for a dig.
Okay.
If there was any kind of settlement there, which the maps indicate there were a few, there's probably been at least one dig going on there in the last millennia and a quarter. Maybe not the hamlets, but there's certainly any cities or towns or decently sized villages. Do you want me to pull you back to the other map, or are you good?
Oh yes.
Cool. The power.
So, Mara would, after she's finished taking notes, kind of look to the rest of the party in the room. It's like, have we found any evidence of him?
Well, there's these maps that seem to be detailing a local forest. So perhaps he went into the forest?
I'll get everyone and go. I've got his address. We might be best off looking there first before we start going further afield.
The elf that brought us there was saying that it was empty, but all this stuff is still there. So does it look like he was taken?
Oh, sorry. It's empty.
Yeah, but he's not there, but his stuff still is that he was looking at.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering if...
Oh yeah, no, definitely worth looking, I think.
Is the elf still there? The half-elf, sorry.
She didn't come in with you, but she presumably just waiting outside the door to prevent anyone from interrupting you.
I'd go over and ask her then to say, would someone usually leave a room in this disarray, or would they put the things back?
Well, it's kind of it's our job to put, as the assistant librarians, to put the research material back, but I think it was Barat who used this room last. There was a note in our room that the materials to be left here so that the occupant could resume their research as soon as they returned. So we just tied it up as best we could, and then just made sure no one else used the room.
Did it say where they were going to return from, or when?
No, it just that the occupant wished to resume their studies as quickly as possible, so we were to leave the work here.
How long ago was that? Rock interrupts.
3-4 days, maybe.
So I'm trying to get information you've already said on purpose. So.
That's fine.
Can I make
You'll
one
trip me up
last?
eventually.
Can I make one last investigation check for the room as in general to try and see if I can't piece together if there's anything specifically written down relating to perhaps the letter we received or any artifacts or anything Baratu may have been studying kind of ancillary to just the location in the forest.
Go for it.
Investigation.
I just really like seeing these 3D dice roll around the screen.
Ooh, yeah, no.
Hey, that's an ability check.
Yeah. Oh, then I will this time give Mara a helping hand in the form that I'll actually shuffle around some papers at the same time, sort of touching her on the shoulder and letting her.
So I'm presuming
giving her
that's
a bit of a
roll with
boost.
advantage.
It's just
You
roll again.
re-roll, yeah.
Yes. There we go. Oh, that's not a lot better.
It's higher than Caviar's rolled, so.
It is, yes.
A lot of the notes and things scattered. I say scattered. A lot of the notes and things piled around. It takes you a few minutes to work this out, but they appear to pertain to keys or vaults.
Mm.
Are there any keys on the table?
No, I mean there are a couple of pieces of paper, parchment with keys drawn on them, or some that's just like call whatever object is drawn on them a key, but there are no actual physical keys.
Mara explains that she's read in several books that perhaps a key is not always shaped like a key, and sometimes it's not an object at all. Sometimes it's some kind of phrase or a gesture or a dance. Keys are a nebulous concept, it seemed, to whoever decided to create a security system to keep valuables secure in the past.
I look around everyone and go, well, we have his home address, although by the looks of this, I think we could probably have a good guess at where he's actually gone.
Yeah, it seems we should probably investigate perhaps where he was investigating, if not to find him, but perhaps to maybe fulfill our end of the bargain following this letter. Because they seem to be one and the same to me.
Yeah.
You got me all
Yeah, so I'll turn to her and go, look, we could set off now. Oh, I'll turn to Viaga and just say, so looking at that map, can you tell how far it is or where we need to go?
I can tell you, I believe it is sort of southeast-ish of the city. Distance-wise, I'm not too sure, but it can't be more than just a couple of days' travel, at least to the edge of the forest. But without knowing more about the local terrain, I can't give too distinct an answer.
Also, like fantasy maps have what is scale?
Also, that sure.
Well, perhaps we shouldn't dally too long in this absolutely wonderful library. Perhaps we should stock up some provisions and leave before the day gets too late.
As you say that, Rock is already at the door, like, yes, let's go.
Steady on, Rock, steady on.
If there are any books pertaining to kind of elvish ruins, Mara would ask the half-elf if she would be able to borrow a copy, if they have more than one, to bring with them.
Yes. What kind of subject? Elven ruins is kind of a vague statement when you're in the shattered former elven homeland.
Of course. I would ask if there are any pertaining to elven vaults within ruins.
Yes, she says there are a few, and kind of points you towards like a textbook, just like primer on ancient elven security.
I'd grab it and I'd flash up my sigil and explain to her that I'll return it in due course. However, I think this may really aid us if we're to find Baratsu, as well as complete the task he set for us.
Of course, whatever I could do to help. Thank you for the follow, by the way.
Perfect. We're walking out of the library, Mara would be kind of nosing this book, kind of pouring through it, flipping through, mostly looking for the cool magic pictures. rather than the big chunks of paragraph text.
Yeah, there's a section on keys in it, and it's kind of the text is kind of it's a decent chunk, and one of the like odder ones is just a very well drawn like playing card with a key in place of a face card.
Ah, interesting.
As we leave, Rock asks the library assistant if she wrote the letter.
Oh no, my handwriting is much different. That is definitely Baratsu's. I've had enough official reprimands from him to know.
So, you're saying he's mean?
I'm saying that I am perhaps not the most conscientious assistant librarian.
I see.
She
Rock didn't understand any of those words, so he just sort of like, yes.
As she says that, she kind of, like, her eyes dart towards presumably a lower level somewhere.
Oh. Do I notice her doing that?
You're talking to her, so probably, yeah.
I go, what's down there?
Books. There's Nightbot dropping the link at last. It's only been an hour and 40 minutes for a 20-minute timer.
Yes. It's times 7, isn't it? No, it's not. It's times something else. Whatever. Anyway, 5. Just role-playing Rock there by getting basic math wrong.
Yes.
Your attention to character is truly astounding.
You should see me during the weeks that we don't play. I'm like, I'm living it, I'm really getting into my character. I walk around topless all the time. I hit things with an axe.
Fight with doors.
I work in admin. It's really difficult to get my work done that way. But anyway, So I've noticed. So she says books. Can I start going down to the lower level?
Yeah, there's a cast iron staircase nearby that you can just walk down.
She's not trying to stop me or anything?
Not at all.
Okay, I go down to the bottom level.
Okay.
As I see Rock go down, I go, Rock, that's the wrong way. We came from this way.
I look at them and go, there's something down here. I feel it.
It's probably books.
That's what they all say. They all say books. Can I roll perception while I'm down there?
Yeah, sure, why not?
It's books.
It really is. It's pretty cold, but it is also books.
Oh, I'm tempted to use my inspiration, but no. Okay, I'll come back up a minute later and be like, it was books. That was books.
As we walk back through, I want to ask the gnome on the desk again. Just where's the best place to stock up on supplies if we're going out of town for a bit?
Normal mundane supplies you can get in any of the shops, market stalls. Some of them might offer magical supplies, but obviously that would cost you a pretty penny.
What's a penny?
Where would that be?
Oh, sorry, it's an ancient elven. It kind of gestures to a framed display on the wall behind them, and there's just a selection of coinage.
Amazing. Oh, it's like asking every character, what's your name? What's your mum's name? What's your sister's name?
What's your mother's maiden name? What was your first pet's name? What was the street you grew up in?
We're an hour and 43 minutes in, and you haven't asked a single name.
Well,
when was the last time you asked someone's name when you went to the store?
Exactly.
Oh,
Brock does it a lot, and then instantly forgets them.
You.
What day? I'll ask the gnome before we leave. What day is market day?
Saturday.
And what day is it today?
Friday.
Oh, so the market isn't on.
Perhaps we should stay overnight.
Also, it's good to know that the elves had Norse gods in their past. That's good.
Are you?
The fantasy equivalent of Saturday, I believe, was what Ryan's supposed to say.
No, to make it easy, because I made up my own months.
Oh damn!
It is also free day that is corrupted to
Yes.
Friday.
And then what? Sat-in day because you sit inside a lot on Saturday.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Sorry, man. I'm just being mean now.
It's a common trade calendar that everyone uses.
Oh. Okay. There was a library scene. I can't even say it. There's a library scene. Well, I can't do much. So I got to get all my stuff out now. I can go back to being quiet.
That's fine. I can roll on the street encounter table and see if anything happens.
A second piano.
Yeah, how weird would it be if I got the same result?
I was going to say a spontaneous book fair appears.
Oh, this isn't her dream. This is Mara's the happiest woman in the world.
Oh, I'm totally doing that.
If it is a piano again, then I
It's-
just imagine them literally walking down the street and pianos being everywhere. Like
It's not a piano, don't worry.
Okay, it's like it's National Move Your Piano Day.
I mean, that could be a thing.
Public celebration of stringed instruments.
I've created a holiday by accident.
Well, does anyone want to visit the market tomorrow, or do you think we should just get some standard supplies now?
I think we should check the guy's house now.
Yeah, perhaps we check Baratsu's house today to see if he left his shoes, and then find an inn with which to stay in tonight, pick up some supplies in the morning, and then head out first thing.
If he's not in his house, why don't we just stay in the house?
That was going to be my suggestion, to be honest.
I'm not too clued upon the laws of the land, but I believe that constitutes squatting.
If we stay there long enough, I think we get it by right.
We're derailing this campaign.
Honestly,
Squatters' rights.
I mean, to be fair, like Liam can vouch for this. I will react entirely to. So I'm putting one domino up. You're the ones knocking them over. I will react to what you want to do.
No, let's just steal this guy's house, his stuff, his identity. Let's just commit identity fraud. Let's become Baratsu and think this.
I don't want to be, close to being specious, but I don't think any of us could go as a gnome.
Maybe he had a growth spurt and goes by Ra.
All this time, he was a child, not a gnome.
I guess while nothing much is happening, I'll put the cast picture back up so people know what you all look like.
Perfect. So yes,
Not
perhaps
a gnome for anyone to see.
perhaps we should venture out and try and find Baratsu's house today, because I imagine setting out towards like the afternoon time is probably not the best idea for making progress.
No,
Traveling in the mornings and traveling in the afternoon are probably the best idea.
it's probably about 11:30 by the time you're done here,
Mm.
because tides are usually quite early in the morning.
Yeah, I'd say let's go to his place.
Yeah, yes, Ryan. We would like to head to Baratsu's house, based on the address we acquired from the kindly.
That's fine. All of the
librarian.
scholars kind of live really close to the library. Would you guess?
Oh, that's easy.
It's
That makes
that
sense.
house.
Okay.
Let's say.
Then I said we just walk over there. Again, I'm keeping an eye on the rooftops. I want to just have a look around and see if there's anyone who's paying any attention to us more
Sure.
than
Make a
usual.
perception check, and roll higher than the party average so far.
Mm.
Oh,
There
that's a
you
much
go.
better size for the die.
Mm-hmm. And a
Ooh,
much
that was
better
a much
number
better
on it
roll.
too.
Yeah, it is. There's no one on the street following you, but you do catch movement on the rooftops.
Whereabouts?
Let's say in completely the other direction over here.
Over there, and we've just stepped out of the
Oh,
library.
yes. So you
Or-
you can so in fact I can someone's ducking down below the slope of the roof, or something is, I should say.
I point. I grab Rock and whoever's closest to me. I just go. Someone up there is watching us. And I say, go around the back. Go around the back, and I point towards the north side of the building.
Yeah.
And I go, I'll go this way. Let's see if we can chase this down.
Just as an aside, how cool is it that you can see each other's cursors and can gesture with them?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's great, isn't it?
really
That
cool.
is good.
Yeah.
Laser
So
pointer functionality.
I point. I say to Rock and Mara, I just go that way, and I grab Viaga by the arm and go, come on, and then start running this way, like to this side, and
So
keeping
when
an
he
eye on
says
the
that-
rooftop.
Sorry. When he says that, I start making a lot of noise while I'm walking. I'm like, ha ha ha! I am walking loud.
Okay. Are you deliberately trying to draw attention to yourself?
Yes.
Make a performance check
Okay.
to see how successful you are.
I don't think it's going to be very good.
You can.
It's all right.
If you get the chance to add a situational bonus, you can add 3.
No, I'll do my normal one. It's fine.
Cool.
It's gonna
Oh,
be
that's a
great
much
roll.
better die size. There we go.
It's not a great roll.
I mean, you do seem to make you make a lot of noise. Let's put it that way.
Lovely.
As you approach.
As I get down onto this street here, I just want to look up and see if there's anything else I can see.
Yes, you can see someone crossing the rooftops here.
So quite far ahead.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep going, just keep running after them. So I shouted at everyone to start running, and I said there's someone on the rooftop. I don't know if anyone followed though.
I mean, yeah, I'm tight following along. Would I be able to tell if the person, whatever it is acting as though he knows that we know they're there?
Oh yeah, they've definitely realised they've been seen and are
Very well.
running.
How high is the rooftop, Brian?
It's a 2-story building, so pretty high.
If you had to give me it in feet,
I was just
I
about
had to give you it in feet, about 15 feet to the eaves, and then there's maybe an attic level, so an extra 5 feet on top of that to the actual slope of the roof.
Okay. Well, Mara would run towards the edge of the building and then cast Levitate on herself. Catch the eave of the building and then get a foothold and attempt to rush this guy down.
Okay. Could you all just drag your tokens onto the sheet, let's say bottom right-hand corner, so I can add you to the combat tracker for some sort of initiative for a foot chase?
Bottom right, did you say?
Yep. I was going to say top right, and then realized that's where I'm putting all my tokens. So
I will say that the token movement on this is extremely smooth, which I really appreciate.
It is, yeah.
It looks good.
Whee. Okay.
If you're curious where our character art came from, it's from a service called Reroll, where you can create pixel art characters of multiple different genres, whether it be fantasy, modern, or futuristic.
Indeed, reroll's great. Do you all want to roll initiative for yourself, or do you want me to do it for you?
I've got it.
I'll roll myself as well.
Did we? We decided that we'd keep the advantage on the initiative for now, right?
Yes, we did.
Cool.
How do I click the initiative button to make it roll?
So if you go to the combat tracker on the right-hand side, it's like the fist, I think you've got it.
Oh, yes.
You click the d20. I don't know why it's producing rolls of 7.8.
Oh,
because
it's adding
it's adding your dex for tie breaks.
Yeah.
Right, gotcha.
Same thing.
Well, that's why it's represented as a decimal. That makes sense.
I
Yeah.
did not do well.
None of us did. We are a sluggish party.
Hang on, I get advantage on these rolls, you know.
Yeah, so I'll manually add it. So
18.2. Not that that's particularly much better.
I've just used reroll to make my character as a gnome, just in case. Just in case.
18 you said, right?
Yeah.
There you go. So you have, I don't know if you can tell, but why does Cavius have it? Oh, right, begin combat. There you go, there's an animated turn marker and everything.
Hooray.
Great.
I'll zoom in for chat's benefit, it's there.
Yeah.
So you are, I assume you're in the foot chase.
Yes, absolutely. Seeing Mara running to the edge, sort of the side of the building, gives Vajaga an idea to try and climb the outside of the building to get on the rooftops.
Sorry, I've just noticed Rock's health value.
What do you mean?
Is his health really 55?
Yeah, out of a possible 60.
Wow, because no one else
Impressive.
has over 40.
I mean,
I have 44. However, it's currently at 39 because
right,
I
of
took
course.
a piano to the chin.
Of course. Okay, you're climbing the building anyway.
yeah. But I will run and jump and sort of jump as high as I can and grab onto the wall to make it hopefully a little bit easier.
Give me an athletics check, please.
I was going to say, to be fair, barbarian health is all I have, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's all I got.
and you hit things real hard.
Well, yes.
That went better than I thought.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, without even kind of pausing in your stride, you're climbing the building. You get to the rooftops before Mara does because you higher in the initiative. You're just reacting faster. Whoever it is, they are humanoid. They're just wearing a hooded cloak. They're at like 5 rooftops ahead of you. We're not tracking speed or anything for this. Don't worry. This is more just to give some sort of structure to it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess that is the end of my turn.
Okay.
But I'll say that Vajaga sort of climbs up onto the roof and then begins to run after the figure. But we'll leave that for more detailed description till my next turn.
Okay. Okay. So Mara now has the shiny purple orb, shiny purple ring of power.
Perfect. Mara would, after levitating up to the edge of the edge of the roof, she'll kind of vault onto it, and in the same kind of flow, cancel her levitate in order to run across the roof in an attempt to both tackle and grapple this individual.
Okay. Are you using parabolic arc to kind of land behind them close enough to do this?
Yes, pretty much. It's.
Cool.
I'm kind of using the levitate to kind of cancel gravity on myself to give myself like a decent burst of momentum.
Okay, so I'll need a couple of rolls. I need an intelligence check to figure out the arc.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to roll low on this.
That's an understatement. Intelligence check. There we go.
Nice.
Okay, yeah. And then an acrobatics check to stick the landing.
I'm very good at acrobatics.
Jesus, you are very good at acrobatics.
And then finally the grapple, please.
It's strength to grapple, right?
It is, yes. And I'm definitely opposing with strength.
Oh!
Oh. That fuck's got nothing.
Nope. Mara is a roided out nerd right now. Her shroud is imbuing it with power. Just like a magical bear hug right now.
You get a lot of gains from carrying all those books.
So, Vajaga, you get to the top of the roof.
Yeah.
As Mara just sails out of the sky, kind of almost feet first into this guy's back. He's not prone. She'll just land like fractionally behind him and grab him. But he's for the moment restrained.
Yeah, my golden orange shroud kind of like wraps around him and binds his arms to his sides.
Okay.
As well as Mara's own arms, spindly as though they are also going to kind of try and like give him a grapple too.
Could you please pass the move on?
Yes, excellent. Where's the button to do that? N10.
Aha! He's obviously going to try and break free, basically. Oppose that roll, please.
I oppose it with strength or dex, right?
It's athletics to oppose it. It's athletics or acrobatics to escape.
All right, athletics.
So I got 14.
Nice.
Gosh darn it.
Mara is not letting go.
Okay, that's fine. He struggles. I say he. The figure struggles really quite hard to break free. Realizes that they're not going to be able to do it, and does the only thing they can think to do, which is throw both of you over the edge.
Oh my god!
Let's do 2 dexterity saving throws. The winner lands on top.
It was good knowing you.
Great. 2 dex saves. 1 dex. Should I just roll with advantage and those will be the both?
No, because it'll give you the higher result. Actually,
right.
To be fair, you're both kind of grappling, so it'd be with disadvantage.
Okay.
Unless you want to let go of him.
No, I'd keep hold. So that was the first roll, and this is the second roll.
Yeah. I just need to. So I said 20 feet, right? So slash odd.
Something 15, 20, I think.
26. He loses 8 health.
And his dignity.
And his dignity, yeah. That's not 8. That's 8. Yeah, he just as you land on him, you just hear a noise.
Yeah, Mara does like the 3-point landing, but her knees on his chest.
People from the houses nearby put up like a 9 and an 8.
We'll stop the initiative order thing there, but we can just pick it back up if it becomes relevant.
Great.
As
I'm going to restrain him until somebody far more articulate than Mara comes to deal with this
this
thuggery.
I'll end the
Well,
combat.
Don't worry.
I see them hit the ground, my run slows down to a bit of a walk, but I go straight over and I put my foot on the guy's chest, underneath Mara, and I just say, "Who are you? Why are you following us?"
You can see enough of a face to tell that it's kind of like a half orc. Grey skin, broken tusks, a scar kind of like down the cheek and along the jawline, and they're wearing just kind of flowing clothes over like leather armor, but it's just more like boiled leather armor. It's not terribly expensive or high quality. And it just kind of spits in your face.
Oof. I don't like that.
Sorry.
Yeah, anyone can enter when dramatically, narratively appropriate.
I was on a different road. I was going to say, can I come over and see this, or was it a bit of time?
Oh, if you're on a different road, there's going to be a bit of time.
Yeah, okay. No worries.
I'm going to say, again, who are you and why are you following us? And I cast Charm Person as I do so.
Okay.
Whilst seeing this all go down for Jaga, uses his powerful feline legs to quickly run the distance across the rooftops, and he jumps off the roofs or roof.
Oh, I could have just clicked the button.
Cool. Hopefully to land with some modicum of grace befitting his stature.
Oh, go for an acrobatics check if you want a graceful landing.
Absolutely.
He's a cat, though.
Exactly.
He always lands on his feet.
Oh, well. Well,
I'm sure we'll find out.
Eventually.
Except
No,
this time.
you land on
Oh,
your feet
yeah.
nearby.
He barely an instant passes as Vajaga pulls out his shotgun, sticks it in the guy's face. And
As I see that, I put my hand up, just to sort of put the shotgun to the side slightly, because I know the spell I've cast on this person's going to stop as soon as anything bad happens like that.
okay.
I rest my hand on the shotgun and sort of slightly move it away, because I don't want anything dangerous happening before we get information out of this guy.
It's not put it away, it's a not yet kind of thing, I imagine.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say, and I believe I get advantage or something on intimidation rolls with my favorite weapon. But
I can't recall.
No, they can be made using my dex modifier. That was what it was.
Yeah, because you like shoot nearby
Yeah.
them deliberately to scare them.
Yeah, well, in any case, Vajaga is at the ready, although naturally with excellent trigger discipline, so no accidental oops moments should happen.
That's fair. The half-orc kind of slumps. I'm really sorry about that. I don't know what came over me. Anyway, well, we've just been told to keep an eye out for anyone asking around about Boratsu. Well, I mean, he says Boratsu as if like he's not sure about the name. And you were, so we're following you. Sorry about that.
Well,
just professional.
Well, who asked you to do that?
Nicotry.
Nico try.
Yeah.
Can I see him now?
Yes, you can see this.
Can I ask him in Orc something?
Yeah. Do you want to type it in the chat?
Okay. Well, I could, or these guys can just pretend.
That's up to you.
I'll say, what clan do you come from?
He replies in Orc. I'm not from any clan, from the city.
Why would you, an Orc, attack me, an Orc? I say that in Orc, but everyone can understand the word Orc. It just sounds like a orc.
Or like a sea lion.
Roar.
I thought more like a Pokemon that can only say its own name.
Yeah.
God, can you imagine? I choose you, Orc. He just grinds his teeth and glares at you. He is not like he's friendly towards Cavius, but not to anyone else.
I turn to Cavius and just say something like, "Careful, this one has no honor."
Well, thank you for.
As he's regarding
I'll
you
keep that in mind.
as a friend, Cavius, I do have honor. You just have to preserve it.
I look at her. Yes, I can tell that you do. And there's who's Nicotry?
Oh, he has up the crystal shards.
The crystal
Shards.
crystal shards. I'm very sorry when you're around here. And who are they?
He kind of looks around and seems to be unwilling to say anything else.
Ooh, okay. I say, look, we could really do with some answers. You know, we just want to make sure that no one gets hurt, ourselves or you. Well,
No.
please, some more information.
No, I totally get that. I totally do. But it kind of like moves slightly under Mara's knee, like get off. It's just I value some things more than our friendship. And it seems like there's a look of confusion in his face as he says the word friendship. Like he knows that it's not true friendship, but has no better way of explaining it.
Mara's going to hold her hands up to Cavius and say, just a moment. And then the orange aura that was previously kind of restraining him, it's going to condense, like kind of like float up Mara's body and through her hand, and then a cloud's going to form around this thug's head as she casts suggestion.
Okay.
And says, "Tell us everything about the crystal." Sorry, I wrote it down. The crystal
shards.
What's your DC and what's the save I need to make?
My spell save DC is a 15, and it is a Wisdom saving throw.
I love playing a half-orc barbarian. I don't have to write down anything.
Oh
About.
no!
Oh,
Disaster.
No. Just comes out of kind of the fog. I really shouldn't.
But I'm going. Well, can you tell us where we can meet this nigger? Like I said, we're new in town, but I think he sounds like the sort of person who might be very useful to get to know. And if you're friends with him and we're friends with you, I don't see why that should be a problem.
There's a look of like relief on his face at the easy way out. Yeah, he's usually down by the broken anchor on the docks. It's not it's a rat hole of a tavern, but he seems to like it for some reason. I think it's the barmaid.
And how would we recognise him?
Oh, you just walk along the docks and see the one with the broken anchor on the stone outside it.
No, I mean, how would we recognise Nicotri?
Oh, he gives you a description. That's
okay.
The best you're going to get for now, sorry.
Of course. But Cavius understands it,
yeah. Let's say it's like he's trying to gesture with his hands, but Mara's on his chest still, so he's just kind of like writhing on the stones of the street. He's tall for a human, pretty broad-shouldered, like mousy hair. He pulls back in a ponytail. It has a thing about green silk. I don't really understand that. Doesn't really go with his eyes. It's probably going to be the best.
Then I'll say, so what colour are his eyes?
Blue.
You seem to know a lot about eyes for a half-orc.
Well, it's just a surprise when I can meet someone's eyes.
Mara would turn to Rock and ask Rock very kindly if he would care to frisk this man's pockets.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. He has a knife in a sheath. He has a coin purse, and that is it.
He's got nothing.
Perhaps we shouldn't rob this man, but if we were to carry any descriptions of us, I would like to know how I am described. So perhaps we could disguise ourselves should future people try to investigate us.
Yeah, I mean, he's seen us all now, hasn't he?
Very much so, yes.
What's Nicotri gonna do when he realizes that we've had a word with you?
Well, hopefully not too much, and we're just friends, right? It's okay for friends to talk like this.
Oh, definitely. Just I don't know Nicotri, and I don't know what he. I don't know whether he'd view our friendship in the same way that I view our friendship. You know. I'm being very smiley, very nice to this.
No, I mean, if I'm lucky, he'll just, forgive me. I guess.
Was it you who tried to drop the piano on us earlier?
No. I generally stay this side of town. I don't. What piano?
So, how many of you are there trying to get us?
Just kind of looks at Rock and in Orc. More than the blades of the grass.
That's too many. I can't count that many.
And then smirks.
Mara's gonna step up off this guy's chest, not yet returning his knife to him, but having returned his coin purse, and say to him, "When you tell this story later, make sure you get the flip correct." And then she'll toss the knife, catch it by the blade, and hand it to him pommel first.
Okay. Just so you're aware, he isn't not hostile towards anyone else. But
oh no, yeah, he's just currently prone, and I'm not.
Yeah.
He's gonna try and stab you.
Okay, that's fine.
Would he do that because he's friend of a friend? Like, I don't know what you do if you're friends of a friend, Ryan, but I don't stab him too often.
Disadvantage.
Oh, he's dead.
My AC is 17.
I rolled 17.
Damn. I am stabbed.
At this, Vajaga.
Oh yeah, I'm full on swinging.
Vajaga just shoots him in the face with the shotgun.
1d4 plus 2.
Can I swing my axe as well?
Yeah, sure. So the shotgun, you won't have disadvantage. It'll be a flat roll because he's too close and prone.
Mm-hmm.
But equally, he's prone. So that cancels out. The axe has advantage.
Yep. What's that? Oh, what? I got a 17. What's that mean? NAN.
Where? What?
Good question.
My
Oh, it's because it's trying to auto roll damage, but it can't because either you haven't selected a token or you're popped out.
Oh, I'm not popped out.
Then it's because there's no token selected.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just roll a d12 plus 3.
Okay. So what are we at? 8.
4. Sorry, I
Nice.
got a bit excited.
How much health does he have left?
I don't care. He stabs comrade.
Oh, Jesus!
He's going.
You can't see the token, but the health bar is pretty low.
Shouldn't have stabbed her.
The shotgun goes off. Like the side of his face is gone. His ear. There's just a pool of blood. He's still conscious. And then the great axe slams into his chest, and he just starts coughing blood. The spell ends, and he looks really confused.
I'm just gonna. Does he look like he's gonna swing again?
He looks like he's trying to not die. If I were to assign a numerical value, it's 1.
Oh, I'm gonna butt him with the edge of my axe then.
Well, does Damara and Caviz want to do anything?
Actually, yes. I would like to punch him in the face.
Nice.
And try not to kill him, to knock him out.
What?
Non-lethal damage.
What?
Mara isn't about murdering this man
His
because
face is missing.
yeah, all he's done so far is try to murder her. So as far as she's concerned, this is equal.
We it would be nicer to put him out of his misery.
So I'm just gonna roll to hit Ryan.
Yeah. So don't crit.
Yeah. fingers crossed.
Crit.
Hey.
Boo.
So plus my strength is +2. I didn't have a macro ready for it.
No, that's fine. I just treated it as like a strength
There's
ability.
no macro for mercy.
Add that to the quotes.
Dear.
Where is it? Create entry in the journal. Quotes.
Oh,
How do I? There's the type. There's no.
he stabbed
macro
you. He
for
stabbed you,
mercy.
and you let him live.
Andrew.
Well,
Zero.
Mara she's not a fan of taking lives, unless it's entirely necessary.
Oh.
as I'm sure you all noticed, she is not a fan of gore and dead bodies and skeletons and dead things in general. From our last session,
Yeah, don't worry.
the
I agree. Go ahead.
the potpourri that is now this man's face is currently her limit.
You can all edit the quotes journal entry.
Great, thank you.
Personally, I agree. Character-wise, I'm very much against it.
Yeah, Mara's just gonna knock this dude out.
Yeah,
hard.
it's just a swift rabbit punch to the side of his face that isn't full of buckshot.
Yeah, the shroud kind of condenses around her knuckles, so like she doesn't even feel the impact. And then she's gonna take out from her pack just some rope, and she's gonna bind his hands and feet, and then drag his unconscious form out into the street for somebody else to look after him.
You don't have to bind a dead person.
Well, I don't want him to wake up and then not get medical treatment by hiding.
Let's take him to this guy's house. Interrogate him there.
Let's not carry a bloody body through the streets past dark.
We can't leave him.
We've been in town for less than 2 hours. I don't want to be seen carrying a half-dead, half-orc, who obviously works for some sort of gangster.
I think Rock would speak up and say he knows our faces.
Well, we'll know his too. He'll be the one with only half of one.
Which half do we know?
We knew the half I blew away.
Yeah.
While he's unconscious as well, I would like to. I'd ask Rock to lean over so I could use his back to write a short note. I'd write a note in common saying, "Please don't bother us. We're friendly, really." Smiley face. That's why you're only unconscious. And then a couple of kisses.
Oh, God.
And then I'm going to place it into the folds of his clothes.
You notice this because you're so close, but his skin has gone like extremely white and clammy looking.
Oh,
or pale, dying? I should say, clammy looking.
Probably about to die. Yes.
Yeah, perhaps we should stabilize him.
Any more information? You'd need a medicine check.
Yeah.
I mean, not killing him is one thing, but actively saving him.
That's just
another.
I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you.
Exactly.
Mara's going to walk away.
Shut up, Batman.
After placing the note in his clothes, the gore is getting a little bit too much for her. She's going to go put one hand up against the edge of this house and just do some deep breaths.
I don't want him to die. I'll do a medicine check.
Okay.
Just to try, again, stabilize and not.
Yep.
Can Rock be tutting? Oh.
Yeah, you stabilize him. He's just gone into shock, presumably from being shot in the face and then having an axe embedded in his chest wall.
It wasn't just from my very polite questioning.
No. Maybe it's the betrayal of the charm. Maybe that's what pushed him over.
No, I didn't betray him. I've still not laid a finger on this guy.
But he knew that you charmed him. In the half second he had before he got shot in the face.
Of course.
He was like, damn, I thought he was the best man at my wedding, but it turns out I just met him.
I as we walk away, I whisper in his ear, maybe one day. I say, I'm sure he said there was many more of them. I'm sure someone's going to find him pretty soon. We can probably just leave him here.
Yeah, I'll turn to the others and just say that he said there was I'll say he said there was at least 10 other dark guys in this town.
That's
fair. Yeah, I said maybe we should get to this house before he wakes up.
Okay.
If we're going to start going to the house, Rock is on edge now. I'm going to say he's got his weapon out and he's ready while walking. And people are giving him odd looks. He's just like, "Brr."
Yeah, I mean, you're not the pedestrian traffic isn't high, but the sound of a shotgun going off kind of drew attention. Black powder weapons aren't all that common. And there are a couple of well-dressed people, probably scholars, based on the fact that they're carrying like parchment and stuff, and they've got ink stains on the cuffs of their sleeves. But they are kind of looking at you askance. Askance? Askance? One of the two.
Perhaps we should hightail it to Baratu's abode before we draw too much more attention.
Okay.
Yes, more than happy to do that.
So it is 10:25. So do you want to end at the front door, or do you want to know what it looks like beyond?
The front door sounds great, and then we'll
Yeah,
have a
the front
great
door sounds
introductory explanation, which I'm sure you will meticulously write out word for word.
Obviously. Liam, you know me. One of you is going to be doing the recap, so.
Perfect.
It's not going to be me.
Rock's just like, there was about 10 of them. I think he was an orc. No honor. There were some books.
Books / dead.
There's no
Not
macro
dead.
for Mercy.
Yeah. No macro from Mercy.
Anyway, I'm going to end the YouTube recording. So YouTube, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any feedback, obviously that's what the comments are for. Not a cesspool of toxicity. Fortunately, I get wholesome comments on my YouTube videos when I get comments.
Good.
And hopefully you can check out the game live sometime.